Hello friends, as you're viewing this, it's in preparation for the September 30th National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. It's been established by the federal government and taken up at many levels that there will be this annual day where we continue the whole endeavor of seeking greater truth, greater reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous. And so today I thought, rather than just presenting, my message as such, that we would do a different format where it would be a conversation between myself and Mireille Grenier. Mireille Grenier is the Executive Director of the Pastoral Services of the diocese, so all aspects of pastoral services. She oversees that with her team, and we really work in partnership together on all sorts of things. And also in the last little while, in particular, together we've been seeing how this diocese, our faithful, the parishes of our diocese, can be involved in this. So, hello Mireille.
Hi. So maybe just to give you a short introduction of my journey of reconciliation. A few years ago, I was able to participate in a blanket exercise. And I actually even took my certification because I saw the importance of being able to journey with the other and of learning. And it's a learning experience very much. And it can really reach the heart and change a bit, or open up eyes to new realities. But I think it would be important, Monseigneur, for you or Your Grace, to share a bit about what is your vision of reconciliation within our particular diocese? Because across Canada we have different realities and all that, but here in Saint-Boniface, how do you see this reconciliation movement taking shape and form?
Right, and like you say, there's a wide variety across Canada. So our particular context here in Manitoba is made up of many threads. On the one hand, the Oblates, the Grey Nuns, the Missionary Oblate Sisters, and others were intimately involved with the residential schools, but also over decades and decades involved in the communities, in the northern communities, as pastor, as in the hospitals and clinics, just in the parish life. And from there developed, and I see it again and again, so many long-standing friendships, just real, esteem, appreciation for one another. I see it so often between, members of the religious communities and members of this community or that community. A second thing that really makes it pertinent for us here is that in Manitoba, I heard this statistic just the other day, 22% of the population of the Indigenous in Canada is in Manitoba. So one province, our province, 22%. That's almost a quarter of the entire Indigenous population. They're 5% in all of Canada, 22% here in Manitoba. So that means it's of real importance to everyone, including the church, perhaps especially the church. And then there's also the question of, we have those 8 communities. We have priests and sisters working in those communities on the east side of Lake Winnipeg. And so this isn't just a question from the past. This is for us, even in our ministry together, a very real, important question. When I gather different meetings, different things with the Indigenous. I mean, they share those stories with me, even as they see to, well, how can we work together for our Catholic community or our larger community in Poplar River or Little Grand. And I go up there quite often. This fall I'm going up for a confirmation in Barons. So it has a human face for me, this whole effort. Now, truth and reconciliation is a huge reality, concept, spectrum of efforts. And I think it's to approach it from the point of view of there's not one truth. There's actually a multiplicity of different experiences that have been lived. The truth is made up of so many truths that are intertwined together. And then reconciliation is in the end about solidarity, mutual respect, but it's also very much about friendship, and it's even at the individual level, and so the enabling or the diocese through its efforts, but especially at the parish level, enabling that encounter, whereby reconciliation, greater not only acceptance but appreciation, treasuring of the other, really can happen.
Yeah, I think it's like the meeting of hearts between two individuals, and then recognizing the story within that person, and that each person has their own story, which is in fact sacred.
That's right.
And to listen and to grow in that community,
Yeah. And that story is not just about the past.
No.
It's an ongoing story of all of us. How do we move forward?
Correct, yeah. And I know there's a lot of questions regarding the funding and the fundraising, or how the church maybe didn't answer fully to the amount that was asked. What is happening in our diocese regarding that? Like, what are we telling people?
Right. And that's certainly in the context of the delegation going to Rome in December, survivors and others of the Indigenous peoples, and then hopefully the visit from the Holy Father to Canada in the not too distant future at all. But it's also something that needs to be done regionally. Okay, so yes, the whole of the CCB Canadian Conference is looking at this question, but really it'll best be done regionally, in this case provincially. So Archbishop Murray of Kiewit-Lacroix, Bishop Krotke of Nunavut, based in Churchill, Archbishop Gagnon of Winnipeg, myself here in Saint-Boniface, Archbishop Huselak of the Ukrainians. We've decided that we're going to work at this together. But we also have agreed amongst the five of us that yes, we will set the goal of having completed this whole effort in 3 years, but we really see the first year as a preparing of minds and hearts for that. It'll be a common effort. The money will all go into one bank or fund, if you wish. But then each diocese decides where the money raised in its diocese will go. Specific projects, specific partners. In the past, funds have gone to the Aboriginal Healing Foundation, We hear now of the National Indigenous Brotherhood as also an organization that discerns which projects to support from funds that have been channeled to them. So it's really a question of partnership, but also with organizations like Returning to Spirit or Circles of Reconciliation or helping parishes to, you know, allow their parishioners to go online for just the first sort of elementary learning about all of this. And so that's part of it. Because what's really, really important is that people know what this campaign is about, and therefore know where the money is going to go. All right? That it will actually help the sharing of truth, the growing in reconciliation, opening up the future. But also that their hearts and minds are prepared to say, okay, if this is what it is, I want to be part of this. And so then the effort is really at the grassroots level, at the parish level, and hopefully many occasions of the individual personal encounter.
And I think that's where the diocese and pastoral services we're looking to work in is to journey with these parishes, because as much as we're talking about journeying with Indigenous and non-Indigenous, it's also important that we journey within our church.
Absolutely.
And that this next year be focused on doing those concrete steps.
Yeah. Everybody in the diocese has an idea, an opinion, perspective. Okay, well, bringing that together for the sake of greater and more harmonious and more just relationships for all Indigenous, but in relationship with non-Indigenous is what we want to be. But again, focused here, precise goals, clearly communicated, and hearing the voice of Christ in all of this.
Well, thank you very much, Monsignor, for having me today.
You're welcome, right? We'll keep working together. Thanks.